Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tolu Falode. So today I just wanted to chat with you all for a bit and talk about why I decided to become a Christian relationship counselor. I just want to make sure I offer as much perspective on this as possible so that you definitely get enough knowledge to know if you should hire a Christian relationship counselor, when you need one, what exactly it is that a Christian relationship counselor does, and what you need to look out for when you are choosing a Christian relationship counselor. So the first place I'm going to get started is by telling you all about how I started my journey as a relationship counselor for godly women and men, and married and singles, right? So I started this roughly 5 years ago, and the reason for my journey in this was I've always just been that friend. You know how you have a friend that's good at clothes, you have a friend that's good at cooking, you have a friend that knows all the places. I'm the friend that knows about relationships. I'm the friend that you come to for relationship advice that actually works. And I noticed that my friends, even till this day, come to me for relationship tips and advice. And when I became a Christian and I shared my salvation story with you all, I will link the video in the description box. I lost my brother and God found me. And what happened as a result of that was he started to draw my attention to my gifts. He started to draw my attention to areas where he had called me to serve. And one of those areas was relationship counseling. That's how I started the Instagram page at Fan the Flame. And it's also manifested in so many different opportunities for me. I've written for, and I continue to write for major organizations. For instance, some of my work has been featured in Bella Niger, Genevieve Magazine Nigeria. I've been given opportunities to be able to work and collaborate with amazing people, all because I decided to listen to God and start walking in my knowledge and expertise by sharing relationship counseling. And over the course of the years, I started focusing specifically on counseling couples and singles into manifesting God's desire for their relationship. So that's how this journey started. What's the difference between dating and courting? And I have a video right here where I talk about the differences between dating and courting. But what I am going to tell you very simply is courting is much faster. You walk with God. You share more of the Lord's voice. You are able to discern when He's the one talking to you. You are able to, you're dating for the purpose of marriage. But dating the world's way is without God. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what happens. It can work. I'm a realistic relationship counselor of the faith, but it's more dangerous. And it's not as certain. And there are no boundaries and borders in place. And that could be a problem within your marriage because you were so blocked by sex outside marriage. You were so blocked by the infatuation you had for that person that you didn't pay attention to what was very obvious, right? And then, but if you're walking with God and you're according God's way, He shows you things you didn't even think about because you are more discerning. Your relationship with that person is based in the spirit. It's based in the deepest, truest parts of ourselves. But if you're dating, it's very physical and then it trickles down, and that is just the wrong way to do dating, okay? So how do you become a marriage and family counselor? Well, the first thing I will say is you definitely want to have a passion for it. You don't want to do anything that you don't have a passion and a gifting for. So look at areas where people are always coming to you for questions. Are they always asking you about their relationships? Because for me, that was my first clue. Look at areas where God is pressing in your spirit to focus on. For me, this journey just started with writing. He told me that I should start writing, and that's how I found myself here so far, because I was obedient. So it's very important you're obedient. You pay attention to the areas God is telling you to focus on. You definitely want to gain some experience in this area by reading up on it. You can choose that route. You can choose to go to school to be a counselor. I personally did not go to school to be a counselor. I'm a lawyer by profession, but they definitely do complement each other in the analytical similarities, because as a counselor, you have to be very analytical. You have to be non-judgmental. You have to be open. You also want to make sure that you know what type of counselor you want to be. I'm a Christian relationship counselor. So I'm very clear with clients that my advice is going to be predicated on the faith. I would never advise you to have sex outside marriage. I would never support masturbation or pornography. My advice is based strictly on the faith and is supported by scripture and is led by the Holy Spirit. So you want to get clear on what type of relationship counselor or what type of counselor you want to be and who you want to help. You definitely want to work with people that you see a similarity with. My clients are like friends. I keep in touch with the majority of my clients because these are people that I really enjoy spending time with in terms of counseling. I enjoy helping them out. And you also want to be a confidant, okay? You want to be able to be keeping people's information confidential. Obviously, as a lawyer, this is something that we're taught about and we're exposed to. But also as a counselor, it's very important that you keep your client's information confidential. Why do I need a Christian relationship counselor? And I'm very particular about the Christian part. As a woman of the faith, or if you're a man listening to this, people usually think, oh, I don't need a counselor, I'll just figure it out. Or my friend or my mom or my dad or my best friend can sort it out. Firstly, no, they don't have the expertise and they are already biased because they know you, they have an emotional attachment to you, so they are not able to see the other person's side. And a relationship counselor is very important, especially a Christian one, because you want to be given a perspective that is based on the faith. You want to work with someone that is objective towards you and your partner, or in some cases your spouse, because I work with both singles and couples and married people. Married couples. You want to be with somebody that is objective, that you and your spouse can trust with the information that is being provided to be laid in a godly way. And the problem is a lot of people come to counseling when the issues have already manifested beyond repair. And the problem with that is there's too much damage to be able to sort it out as quickly as you want it to be sorted out. When I work with clients, I go through this whole process of deciphering and discerning where the problem started, how it started, why it started. And that is not just solved in one session. That is solved in at least 4 sessions. And that is me being very optimistic. Usually I recommend clients take 6 sessions because there's a lot of emotional baggage that we bring into relationships completely unaware that we are still carrying that baggage, that hurt, be it a trauma, be it a heartbreak, or whatever it is. And that is the job of a relationship counselor. And this is why you need one, because you don't want to turn your partner into a punching bag. You need an objective bystander, an objective party to come into the situation and be able to help you discern your emotions in a healthy way that would even make your relationship more beautiful. My job as a Christian relationship counselor is to give you clarity, to give you perspective. I never tell my clients, this is what you should do. He is the right one for you. He is the wrong one for you. Because that is not my job. My job is to help you think. My job is to help you get clear. My job is to show you what God is actually trying to tell you. My job is to make you more aware of the situation in a way that favors a successful outcome. That is what I do as a Christian relationship counselor. And my job as well is to make sure that you come out of the sessions a better person than when you came in. Another thing I do is help you transform. Like when you're working with a dietitian or a trainer, you tell them your goals and they tell you how to achieve it. I can't actually go on the treadmill for you. I can't do the diet for you. I can't eat the food for you. And even if I do, it won't show on your body. So my job is to help you transform in a way that will be permanent, in a way that will be lasting. And that's why I usually recommend my clients to take at least 6 sessions, 4 if I'm being extremely optimistic, but usually 6. How do I pick an effective relationship counselor? The first thing you want to look out for, like I said, is similarity in values. You don't want to be with a relationship counselor that is not a Christian, because they're going to not have a problem with sex before marriage. They may not even have issues with masturbation. They may even support divorce in certain instances. And what I want you to understand is it's very important that you choose someone with a similar foundation so that the outcome is more lasting, it's more permanent, because you're choosing someone someone that shares a similar value system that you do, so will already be giving you advice that you have naturally tried to follow. You won't be following strange advice or advice that doesn't really conform with your faith. Another thing is you want to choose someone that you really see as a friend, someone that you are naturally drawn to, that you're naturally comfortable with their work. All my clients are women and men that are comfortable with my work, that are comfortable with the way I counsel, that are comfortable with the environment in which I counsel. And so in some cases, they come by referral. So you could also ask a friend that you trust, that you share a similar value system with, if they could recommend a relationship counselor to you. That's definitely another avenue to getting an effective relationship counselor. Can counseling save your marriage or your relationship? For sure. And what I mean by that is, listen, you are a subjective party. What I mean by that, and I'm trying not to get into legalese or speak too much law. You are someone that is blindsided by your emotions in that relationship. You are too hurt to see clearly. And even if you are healed, you may still have challenges in understanding where that particular problem you're experiencing with your current partner is coming from. And that is where I come in as a relationship counselor, or whoever else you choose, to make sure that you are able to see a holistic perspective of what the situation is. I give, sometimes, in fact, this happens in all my sessions. I ask clients questions that they necessarily may not have even thought about, or it may not have even crossed their mind. Okay, so is counseling godly? Definitely, counseling is extremely godly. Counseling is extremely advised, but only when you work with a Christian counselor. You don't want to work with, and I'm saying this repeatedly, you don't want to work with someone that doesn't support a value system of the faith. For instance, a worldly counselor may not have a problem with you being sexually active before marriage, but I literally work with my clients in those particular circumstances to get out of that situation, because I understand the spiritual implication of that decision. A worldly counselor would not necessarily understand it. So yes, counseling is godly and it's definitely advised. Which is better, physical or online counseling? I have clients, I've worked with clients physically, and I've worked with clients online. I wouldn't necessarily say one is better than the other, apart from the obvious face-to-face advantage. But given the current situation of things, as at the time this video is being filmed, online counseling, there's no problem with that. You can schedule a video session with your counselor. I personally don't have a problem with working with clients online. I work with clients online very effectively. It doesn't take away from our sessions. It definitely doesn't hinder the communication. It doesn't hinder the lessons that they learn through the sessions. Some of my clients I haven't actually seen because of geographical barriers, because they may not be based where I am based, but I feel like I know them, as I might as well have seen them. And in some cases, we have actually made plans to see each other when we happen to be in the same location. So I just want you to understand, don't be hindered by your physical surroundings and thinking you need an actual counselor in your area. Go online and see if you have a counselor that suits you. And if you want to work with me specifically, you can send me an email at tolu@tolufalode.com. The final point I will make, however, that the Lord just dropped in my spirit is investing in counseling. How much does it cost? Well, a relationship counselor, it would really depend on their level of experience, their level of expertise, their geographical location, and the number of sessions you are booking. But a relationship counselor can cost anywhere between $100 to $1,000+, depending on the level of investment. Is it premarital counseling? Is it a couple? Is it a single person? Are you just taking one session? Are you working in multiple sessions? But it is an investment. And unfortunately, the barrier I see with a lot of potential clients, because obviously not everyone that comes to me becomes a client for whatever reason, but definitely one of the reasons I see is they're not willing to make the investment. I will tell you that it is worth the investment, and I will tell you that depending on the level of experience and expertise of the counselor, you will have to invest more, also depending on their time. For instance, I have 5+ years experience in relationship counseling. The investment in my services will definitely be different from someone that has just started in the relationship counseling industry and someone that is 15 years plus in the industry. So you definitely want to make sure that you are working with a counselor not based on how cheap it is, but who suits you the best. Okay, and none of my clients, I actually have no complaints from any of my clients, and I'm being very serious. I say that with all humility. But what I'm trying to pass across here is, it is definitely worth the investment when you work with the right counselor. Okay, so make sure that if you have any questions about this, you just leave it in the YouTube comments section. I'll be happy to answer your questions about investing in a relationship counselor. Make sure you also send me an email at tolu@tolufalode.com if you want to be one of my clients, because I only work with a specific amount of clients given the constraints on time as a human being and the other activities that I have ongoing in other platforms. And the only other thing, and I know I've said that a couple of times, but I just want to make sure I say as much as possible on this topic. If you cannot invest in counseling, I would advise that you look for a membership community of some kind, or some sort of environment where you are encouraged to learn about how to date in a godly way. For instance, in our own community, which is the Wife in Waiting Sisterhood, we meet on a daily basis on WhatsApp, we chat, we text, I share relationship tips with them on a weekly basis. We have events, we have speakers, we do so much to make sure that our women are equipped to step wholly into marriage, not just because they want to get married, but as a helpmate and as a woman that has been called to carry out certain responsibilities and certain purposeful tasks as given by the Lord. So if you may not be able to invest in counseling, you could definitely try out a membership of that kind. If you want to join Wife in Waiting, make sure you click the link below and you will be added to our WhatsApp group once you subscribe to our membership of just $14 a month, which is well worth it. That is all I have to say about why I decided to become a Christian relationship counselor. I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope you definitely have a better understanding of why it's so important to have a Christian relationship counselor help you in your relationships. And if you are interested in learning more about this, don't hesitate to send me an email. Okay, now I'm done. Make sure you check out these other videos, like, comment, share, and subscribe if this video was helpful to you in any way. Until next time, bye.